Almost every Asian child has heard this at some point. You're outside at night. The moon is bright, full, enticingly beautiful. You lift your finger to point at it as you remark on its incredible majesty. And immediately an adult stops you. They respond sternly. Don't ever point at the moon. Put your finger down. Do you want your ear to be cut? Sometimes the warning is playful, but most times it's delivered in a sharp and pointed tone. And the scolding rarely comes with an explanation, only with a fierce warning of never to point at the moon again. In Chinese households, children are told the moon goddess will punish them. In some Southeast Asian cultures, it's said a spirit lives on the moon. In others, a rabbit with a knife watches from above. Pointing, they all say, is rude. And rudeness, when directed at the celestial moon, does not go unnoticed. The punishment varies depending on who is telling the story. Your ear will be sliced. Your finger will be bitten. You'll be marked. You'll have a long period of bad luck. But the core message stays the same. Do not point. Show some respect. Something bad will happen if you disobey. What's interesting is how widespread this taboo is. From China to Malaysia, from Korea to parts of India, variations of the same rule exist, often passed down casually without ceremony. No rituals, no offerings, just a simple behavioral correction, as if everyone agreed it was safer not to explain too much. At first glance, it sounds like a typical superstition, a scare tactic for children, a story told to keep kids in line using some mystical and magical element. And maybe it was, but when we look closer, the taboo begins to reveal layers that are less about fear and more about control, respect, and social order. In many traditional Asian cultures, pointing itself was considered impolite. To point at a person was disrespectful. To point at elders was unacceptable. To point at sacred objects was unthinkable. The finger is direct, accusatory, judgmental. It singles something out. So when the object being pointed at is the moon, a celestial body associated with time, fertility, gods, and cycles, the act becomes more than just rude. It becomes defiant. The moon across Asian cultures is not just a light in the sky. It governs calendars. It dictates festivals. It signals planting seasons and tides of the oceans. In Chinese culture, the lunar calendar shaped daily life. In Hindu tradition, the moon is linked to deities and cosmic rhythm. In East Asian folklore, the moon is home to immortals, spirits, or watchers. To point at it was to challenge something greater than yourself. But why such a specific threat? Why the ear? Why injury? Why not simply say, "Don't be rude"? One interpretation is symbolic. The ear represents listening. To lose an ear is to lose the ability to hear wisdom, instruction, or warning. In other words, a child who does not listen will be punished. And the punishment is cast from above. Something unseen by the human eye. Another interpretation is more practical. a time when visibility is low, dangers are hidden, and supervision is limited. Children wandering, staring upward, distracted. That's when accidents happen. The taboo may have been a way to keep children grounded, eyes forward, attention down, not lost in the expansive sky. And then there's the psychological layer. The moon has always been unsettling in its closeness. It follows you, it changes shape, it watches silently. Ancient humans didn't have scientific explanations for eclipses or phases. What they had were stories that turned the unknown into something understandable. By giving the moon a personality, a goddess, a rabbit, a spirit, adults created a boundary. You can look, but do not gesture. In some versions of the story, pointing is seen as mockery, as if the moon is performing and the child is laughing at it. That idea of humans disrespecting something sacred appears time and time again in Asian folklore. And the response is always the same. Nature corrects you. The world will correct where it's been wronged. Interestingly, many adults who grew up with this taboo no longer actually believe the punishment is real. They know their ears won't be cut. They know no spirit will descend, and yet they still will not point, even when they're alone, even when they remember and smile at the absurdity of the myth. The body remembers and knows what it's been told not to do. This is how cultural memory works, not through logic, but through habit. A small rule, repeated across generations, becomes embedded. And the moon, night after night, continues to command quiet respect. There is also something to be said about humility. The moon is distant, untouchable. Pointing at it suggests ownership, familiarity. The taboo reminds the child, some things are not yours to gesture candidly at. Some things exist beyond your reach. And that realization, small as it seems, shapes how a person moves through the world. In modern times, this taboo has largely faded into humor. Parents joke about it. Children test it, point, pause, laugh with a tinge of worry in the chuckle. Nothing happens. Of course, nothing happens, but the story doesn't disappear entirely. It lingers in language, in tone, in the instinctive. Don't do that escapes an adult's mouth before they even think about it. And perhaps that's the point. The rule was never about punishment. It was about awareness, about knowing when to stop, when not to overstep and take something beautiful for granted, when to observe quietly instead of asserting yourself. In a world where pointing is constant, at screens, at people, at problems, the old taboo feels almost poetic. Don't point at the moon, just look, just notice, just let it be. Some elders say that if you point at the moon long enough, it will point back, not literally, of course, but in the sense that the act reveals something about you, your impatience, your need to claim, your discomfort with distance, or did they simply want children to grow up with a sense that there are higher forces at work in this world we live in, tonight, the moon will rise again, whether you glance up to witness it or not, bright or faint, whole or partial, hanging high or low in the sky, and somewhere a child will lift their finger, it may swiftly be stopped, just as all of us have been at some point in our lives. Not because the moon demands to be revered, but because generations before us believed that respect begins with restraint and thinking twice before doing anything. And that some things in this world are meant to be admired quietly without words. Or did they always believe that the moon was not just seeing, but listening too?